Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Wealth Wednesday. The date is now 6/9/2021. It's nice to have you here. All right, folks. So today's subject is Financial Literacy 101. Now, what does that mean to y'all, right? So for me, financial literacy is something sort of like, how do you start? How do you start this process? A lot of times we talk to folks about, what to do with our investments, how to invest wisely, all those things. Sorry, I put the writing up. But we never talk about the beginning, because everyone starts at different places. I don't expect the folks who've been following us for the last, what are we at, 40 episodes now, to think that they need financial literacy recap, but it's very important because, again, things change. And as things change, we have to kind of make sure that we're on top of it. Kung Pao, what's going on? Queen, how are you? So let's get into it. So today, the topic is how to set up yourself for success in this current financial system. We're going to discuss how to set up your individual plan, how to maximize free capital, and the spiritual aspect of money. Money is energy and needs to be invested to ensure it doesn't lose its value due to inflation. How compounding interest works, and consistency, and how that can create a nest egg for generations to come. So those are the three things that we're going to talk about today. Let's start from the beginning. How to set up your individual plan. What does that mean? All right. So when we start talking about investments and we start talking about, how you should begin, let's go back to who we are, right? So we're The Way. Our organization is designed to help folks with the three areas of financial literacy, philanthropy, and relationships. So one of the reasons why we did this was because we realized that a lot of folks didn't have an actual individual plan for their finances. They just kind of let it let it fly a little bit. They make some money, they spend some money. Hopefully they have more money that they made versus what they spent, and that was it. But for us, we wanted to kind of do things a little differently. We wanted to give folks an opportunity to learn how to not only invest money, but why it's important to do that, why it's important to save, why it's important to look at your financial picture as an entire picture, not just a piece of the puzzle, like the whole picture. So with my clients back in the day, the first thing that we did was something called an asset allocation questionnaire. And this is the beginning of a financial plan. So I want you to think of this episode as, if you've never heard of financial literacy before, you're going to start from the beginning and we're going to take you all the way through the planning process to the end. What you'd usually, pay a financial advisor to do. We're going to do a quick version of it so that you can kind of have all the information up front. So from the beginning, we do an asset allocation questionnaire, just basically trying to figure out where your funds are. Where's your money? Is your money invested? Is it saved? Is it in a checking account? Is it on credit cards? Because again, capital can happen on anything. You can have capital via loans. You can have capital via cash, capital via stocks, capital via rental property. You can have capital in many different ways. The question is it free capital? So we're going to try to figure out what that is. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper out, and let's put down how we're going to start here. Take a piece of paper out, and the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down, what is your current net worth? Question is, how do you find that? How do you figure out what your current net worth is, right? So simply put, net worth is essentially the value of all of the things in your possession minus the expense of all the things that you owe. So let's say that you have $50,000 worth of investments, right? Let's say you have $40,000 worth of student loans, and that's it. Your net worth then is $50,000 minus $40,000. So you have a net worth of $10,000. Okay. When you start a financial plan, the most important thing is to figure out what the beginning balances are for everything. Where are we starting? Because you can't really get going if you don't really have a starting place. So we always start with the beginning. Like, how much money have you invested? How much money do you have? What assets do you have? What capital do you have is available? Boom. We figure out what that number is. Okay. So the first thing you're gonna do is take out a piece of paper, write down all the assets that you have in your name, the value of them. Write in your savings account how much you have. Check how much you have. On your credit cards, actual credit that you can use, write that in as well. That's also part of your net worth. Write in any sort of money that you may have in loans that are just not utilized yet, or lines of credit that's unused. Write that in. Stock portfolio, write that in. 401k, write it in. IRAs, RRSPs, write the value of those things in. You don't have to write down exactly what they were, but just, okay, stocks, this amount. RSP, this amount. ISA, this amount. Whatever your investment portfolios are, just write down whatever it is and the amount. Now, after you've done writing out all of the things that are actually worth money, right? Then the next bracket, so put a line under that, right? So you have the top section is all of the assets, all the things that you own, things that are worth money. So the next line after that, underneath that, you're going to start writing out all the debts that you have. Start with your student loans, followed up by your credit card balances, followed by any loans or lines of credit that you actually have outstanding, right? Student loans, car notes, mortgages, these types of things. Put those all in that second line. So first line, all assets that are money, valuable, can be sold, boom. Second line, underneath that line, second line is all of your expenses, all of your debts, right? Write them all. Now, what I want you to do is total the top and the bottom. Total them both. Let me pin this. Hey, what's going on? Love Monte, what up? Noble Garb, how you doing? Shantae, what's up? All right, let's put this up. Or I should say Shanti, not Shantae. Pin comment. All right, that's been pinned. Okay, so again, so what we have so far is we have all of our assets lined up. We have all of our liabilities and debt lined up. Now, add both up, all the things that you have that are worth money, all the things that you owe, and minus them from each other. So take the top number, minus it from the bottom number. Now, what do you get? Is your number a positive? Is it a negative? Is it a positive by a lot? Is it a negative by a lot? See, this is going to give us the beginning parts of this conversation because, again, if we want to know where your future is going to be, it starts at the present. Every decision that you make today is going to have a direct impact on the decisions of the future. So you need to start today by making the right call. If you want to follow us on YouTube, just click the link in my bio and just go through. You'll see our YouTube channel. It's up and running right now, so you'll be able to get access to us that. All right. Let me make sure that mic is good. Okay. All right. So now we have a number to work with. So in my example, I said that in this example, there's $50,000 worth of assets and stocks, and then $40,000 in student debt. So my net income, or I guess my net money, is $10,000. That's my net worth. Okay. Now, write that down. Step two, after we decided and we've put together all of the things that we've seen that you have. Step two is, how much money do I want to have at X particular date in the future? And this is important. And I think if financial advisors are on the call, and I see I got my brother J33 on here, Legacy, so he can attest. So we always want to know what you want to see done with your money. It's not about what I want. I mean, personally, I want to see you with millions of dollars, but my plan is for me. Your plan is for you, which means that you have to determine what those numbers are going to be. If you want to see your $10,000 become $50,000 by the time you're 10 years down the road, we can set up a plan for that. If you want your $10,000 today of net worth to grow into $100,000 by the time you retire, we can plan for that. But again, it's up to you. Now, personally, I like to leave some sort of number on there that seems unreachable, just because the higher I aim, the more likely I am to hit it. So, it's not about being unrealistic. Like I know I have family members that say they have millions of dollars in the Bahamas, and I like that. But I'd like them to say that they have 100,000 in the Bahamas, because that's like, I can get that. Like, you can get to that number. If it's millions, it's like, it might be a bit more difficult. But do not limit yourself or limit, where you think you can be. Because again, there are folks who had nothing in 2020 and are millionaires because of Bitcoin in 2021. So anyone can be a millionaire. It doesn't matter of how aggressive you want to be and to plan for that, right? So, so now that you have your number of net worth, the second thing you're going to do is determine what you want to see net worth be at a future date and time. You can pick retirement. So whatever age you are right now, pick age of retirement, which is typically 65, right? So between now and 65, how many years do you have to earn whatever it is that you've decided you want to see happen at 65? So in our example, let's say that I'm a 20-year-old with a net worth of $10,000, okay? Between now and 65, that's 45 years. I have 45 years to make my $10,000 of net worth become $1 million of net worth, right? If that's my goal. Okay, cool. How do I break that down in a way that I can actually achieve that, right? Break it down. How much does your money have to earn $10,000 today in order for it to be $1 million in 45 years from now? Well, we have something for that. So let's go to our YouTube. If you guys are here, we're going to look at the time value of money, but we're going to look at something else. We're going to use an inflation calculator. I want to see how long it'll take for me to make $1 million in today's money. Like, how long would that have been if I can go back in time? So bear with me on this. So let's say that it was 1913. 1913, let's see, I had $100. What would that be in today's money? Calculate 2,000. Okay, cool. So let me use 5,000. What would that be? Right now I'm on a website called US Inflation Calculator, and it basically allows me to play around with what inflation would have done to a dollar that was invested in 1913 up until right now. So that's like a whole 100-year type of history. But I'm just doing this to show you something, right? So let's say that so 5 is about a mil. Okay, cool. So that means that around 20,000 would give me $1 million, roughly, right? Oh, no, double. Okay, so 40,000. So this is just inflation. And this is why you guys have to understand that investing your money is not an option. You must invest your money, because if you don't, inflation is going to kill you anyway. Check this out. In 1913, according to the US Inflation Calculator, it measures the buying power of the dollar over time. We're looking at a dollar invested in 1913 and what it would be worth in 2021. Okay. If you invested, and this is New York City, so welcome to car alarms, right? If you invested $40,000 in 1913, okay, that would be the same amount as if you were to invest $1.7 million, $1.07 million today. So essentially, $40,000 in 1913 would become $1 million today. That's a whole, what is that? 108 years it took for 40,000 to turn into $1 million, right? Okay. That's just what's happening around us. That's not even, we're not even talking about investing money during that time. We're not talking about any of those other things. I could use a time value money calculator and show you what $40,000 would have grown to in that time. As a matter of fact, let's try to do that right now too. So this is inflation. So inflation says that your dollar is going to grow, or sorry, it's going to erode by this amount. Like literally $40,000 at that time is the equivalent of, you'd have to kind of spend $1 million to get the same value. That's what inflation actually means, right? This is what you'd have to spend today to equal the amount of money that it was back then. So in order for me to have $40,000 back in 1913, I'd need $1 million today in order to equate the same amount of value back in 1913. That is a bad thing if you don't have money invested, right? So let's look up something here, time value of money. And if you've never looked up time value of money before, you need to get familiar with this, because it is a good way to see how your money grows over time. So let's do, is there a working one here? Come on, come on. Don't give me definitions. Give me something that I can use here. It's on my cell phone, but obviously the cell phone's on here with you guys. So let's do time value of money calculator and see if that's going to give me what I need. Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. Boom. All right. So we're going to use the time value money calculator, and we're going to invest, right? That same $40,000 in 1913. So we have 108 years. Okay. So present value, $40,000. Payments, 0. So payment just means, are you continuously contributing to this calculator or not? We're saying no. We're looking at one sum of money, and over 108 years, what could it be worth, right? If it grew by a very standard rate. Future value, we don't know what that is yet, so we leave that blank. Annual rate of return. We're going to pick a conservative number. So just so you know, the stock market averages around 11 to 13% interest, period, right? That's what it typically averages. For this example, we're going to use 6%. We're going to use half of that because I'd rather be conservative than be aggressive, okay? So let's say 6% is all we got. So we're going to say percentage is 6. Periods, this is how long it's going to actually compound. We're going to say annually, and we're going to do periods of 108, okay? So here are our variables. We're saying that we want to see what $40,000 today is going to be worth 108 years from now if it grew at 6% rate over time. Okay, that's what we're saying annually. So let us do the calculation. All right, and where's the calculation button? Future value. I don't want to reset. Oh, I reset it and it didn't. It took it away. All right, time value of money calculator. Let's do it again. All right, so I'm online doing this, and this is actually the first time trying this, so y'all just bear with me real quick. 0 to payment, future value, we don't know what that is. 6% interest rate, period, 108 years, monthly, annually, and I should be able to click this and see. No payments here. Future value, payments are 0. Future value. Boom. All right. Math is in. So if you invested $40,000 today and it grew by 6% interest for 108 years, okay? So this is the equivalent of if we went back to 1913 and invested $40,000 at that point into something, into a stock, right? That grew for 108 years. Remember, the inflation made that $1 million. Remember that, right? So it was actually going to 40,000 back then is the equivalent of paying $1 million today. So whatever number we see right now, we have to minus $1 million from that because that's the inflation that happened during that time. And the net difference is how much our value is. Hope you guys didn't get lost there, okay? The number that it comes out to is $21,631,838.90. I'm gonna read that back to you for the people in the back, okay? Your $40,000 investment today, going forward 108 years, invested at a 6% rate of return for the entire time, would have compounded to $21,631,838.90. So let's minus the $1 million from that for inflation, right? You still have 20 million bucks. That is what our parents never taught us. Time value of money. And that's something that we're going to talk about today with each other, because when you understand the time value of money and you realize what that's actually meaning, and if you guys aren't, follow me on our YouTube, like the calculations are on the screen right now so you can see it. If you don't understand the time value of money, you are missing out on potential revenue and profit that could generate for your families for years. We look at trust fund babies, we look at those super wealthy, and we ask ourselves, how are they so rich? Are they smarter than you? Are they better than you? Do they have better genetics than you? All of that is a no. None of those things are the reasons why they have more money than you. This is the reason why they have more money than you, because they were compounding money longer than you. They understood compounding interest and what it does for their family. And they actually made it a plan that every generation will add to the compounding so that no matter what happens, this train keeps on going. It doesn't stop. That's what we have to do in our community. Because to me, if you understand your net worth, you understand where you want to go, you can literally calculate exactly what you need to get interest rate wise, investment wise, and contribution wise to get to that goal if you just understand the time value of money. That's all you need. And advisors don't usually tell you about, because they want you to pay them for this. All right. If we have any advisors on the line, you can tell me if I'm lying. I mean, I only know good advisors on the line right now. So J33 is a good advisor. So he's probably going to agree with me because he's just that guy. But any advisor that's on here, you can let know. If you taught your clients about time value of money, would it make your sale easier? Would it be easier for them to actually see the value of them investing with you? And the answer is an undoubtedly yes, because I'm showing you that your money, if invested, only invested can this happen, will grow and accumulate and compound over time. That's what we want, right? So I'm going to say what's up to B King. What's going on? Nice to see you in the room. Kurt, what's going on, brother? What up? What up? I'm so glad I made a decision to invest in Snapchat, sir. Snapchat, come on now. And again, time value of money. That money that you invested in Snapchat was still hit by inflation. But guess what? If Snapchat outperformed it, you're winning still. DJ Soka Sweetness, what's going on, brother? Chevy, what's going on? It's a conversation for you guys. Mortal Group, hey, we got people in the house. I want to say Olia Natural. I don't want to mispronounce that, but hello. King EHCTH. What's going on? Yo, what's good? Larry Mixtape. What's going on? Soft cover. We got people in the house today. Brother, Mr. Wall, what's going on? What's popping? Tice. All right, we here now. This room is popping. Flower, going on. Okay, we here. All right, so let's talk about, so this example now. So one was, what's your net worth? Step two is asking yourself, what do you want to see that become in the future? All right. Step three is let's calculate that. Let's figure out exactly what you have to do today and going forward to get there. So we're going to use our example. I'm a 20-year-old, 10,000 net worth, 40,000 of student loans, 50,000 of investments. That's my portfolio. Okay, cool. What do I need to do in 45 years to make that $1 million? So let's look at our present value chart. If you guys are following us on YouTube, go into the link in my bio. You can see what we're doing here. Present value, -40. Okay, cool. I don't know what the payments are. I know what the future value is. I want to see that be $1 million, right? I don't know how many, I know how many periods I have. That's 45 years from now, right? It's because I'm a 20-year-old. in this example. I know I look like I could be 20, but the grades, they sell me out. So probably doesn't work out. All right, so 45 years from now, annual rate of return, let's say it's 6% still. Let's just always keep it at 6%, because guess what? We're getting 11. I rather underestimate than overestimate. You know what I'm saying? So let's just keep it at 6%. Let's see what type of payment we need to make to this account on a yearly basis for it to be from 40,000 to $1 million. The payment is every year, as a 20-year-old person, if I spend $2,112.48 annually into an account that grows by 6%, I will be a millionaire by 65. The work is in, y'all. You don't have to ask anybody what you need to do. I want you guys, after you see this live, I want you to literally go to this website. And the website is fncalculator.com. Go to the website, literally plug in what you want to see your goals as, and figure out exactly what you need to do for yourself. Take that advice to your advisor and let them know, hey, by the way, I need to invest $2,100 into an account every single year till I'm 45, and it needs to make 6%. Here's the $2,100 check. You get to invest it into an account that's going to make me 6%. Have a nice day, and make sure that you do better or you get 6%. Thank you. That's what I'm paying you for. Have a nice day. Like, that's the conversation that any of us can have. And I'm going to give you the tools as to how to do it so that you don't have to do the guessing game. You don't have to do the guessing game. You can literally do this in your house, with your spouse, with your kids out there. Like, you can make these decisions however you want to. Like, the numbers are in. All right, let's try another number. So this was assuming that I had $40,000 invested. No, it should have been $50,000 invested, not $40,000. Remember, my example was I had $40,000 of debt, $50,000 of assets. My net worth was 10 grand, right? Cool. Let's take our $50,000 and plug it in now. Let's see what that does to our payments. So we're gonna plug in. So let's get out the payment. Let's clear that out. We're gonna plug in 50,000 instead, because that was the actual number that we had invested. 50,000 in assets. Boom. What payment do I need to make yearly to do that? Check that out. If I had $10,000 more dollars, so I went from 40 to 50,000 in this example as a starting capital, I would need to only contribute $1,465.47 annually to get to my $1 million at 65. You see this? This is not science, y'all. This is just what financial advisors know that we don't tell you. We know what our benchmarks are because it's up to us to understand, okay, this person wants to be a millionaire when they retire. I'm going to plug their stuff in. Okay, I need them to give me at least this amount, but I'm going to have them give me a little bit more because I don't want to be off. So instead of me telling them it's $1,400, say, listen, do $2,000 every year, you're good to go. I'm giving myself a $700 cushion every year. Like, I'm giving myself a really good bonus right now. But again, this is what we use to tell you how to predict your money. Now, granted, past performance is no guarantee of future results. We say this all the time. However, if I understand what my money is going to do with time value, it gives me a better understanding of what I need to do right now. So for anybody that's listening to this, if you are 20 years old, you probably have no money. Your net worth is probably very low. Okay, so let's say that we start with zero. Okay, I'm going to say you got $1 in your name. Okay, present value of $1. We're going to limit out the payments. And I'm going to tell you, 20-year-old, what you have to do right now every year to make your money grow to $1 million if it's going to gain 6% rate of return, compounding, okay? All you will need to do, and let's put it in here, is you need to spend every year $4,700.43 a year, and your money will grow to $1 million if you have nothing today. Let's do the math on that. $4,743 divided by 26, because you have 26 pay cycles in the year, right? Divided by 26 pay cycles if you get paid bi-weekly. We're going to use that. That's $180 every 2 weeks. Who's got $180 to contribute to a 401k every 2 weeks? You want to be a millionaire if you're 20 years old? I can show you how to do it. Invest $180 every 2 weeks on your payroll, and you'll be a millionaire by 65 if you have no money in your name. That's how simple financial literacy is. Literacy isn't a magical thing. It's just understanding, being literate, being able to understand or comprehend something, right? So financial literacy should just mean being able to comprehend any sort of financial issue. That's what it should be, right? So the issue that we're talking about is, where is our money going to be in the future? How much do we want to have invested? Boom. I've shown you how to do that. So for a stranger that's joining us now, if you're 20 years old, all you got to do is invest $180 every 2 weeks, and you will be a millionaire if you make 6%. Now, let's say that you make what's standard, which is around 11%, right? Let's check and see how much money you would have if you got 11%. All the same values, you have no money to begin with, but you're just gonna get a better rate of return over the same amount of time, okay? And let's say you still put in the 180 bucks, okay? We're gonna eliminate the future value. If you did the exact same thing, you put $180 in every 2 weeks, it grew by 11% instead of 6%. Instead of you having $1 million on the dot, you would actually have $4.6 million. Let me read that again. $4,637,735.01. That is how much money you would have if you were to earn the regular standard amount of interest that we're earning today, which is around 11%. I do my numbers with conservatives. I do it with 6% because I don't want to overestimate anything. I want to make sure that whatever we're hitting is going to be at least hit, or we're going to surpass that. But now we're going to get realistic here. We're going to look at today's market, look at the last 30 years. We've been averaging 11%. Okay, cool. If you got 11% on your $180, you're going to have $4.6 million by the time you retire. That is a good nest egg, right? And that's just one account. Imagine if you bought a house. Imagine if you had other assets in your name. Imagine if you started a business and you were able to take other deductions where instead of you investing 180 bucks, you could invest 300 because now you're getting money back from your other investments, right? Being a millionaire is no longer a mystery for us. It should never be, and that shouldn't be your goal, is to be a millionaire. I'm telling you right now, at least not one millionaire, like 1 million type of millionaire. No, I need you to be like a upper middle millionaire, like, 20, 30 million. I want you to be around there. 1 million to me is easy to get to. Anybody can do it. Start with zero, put 180 bucks in at 20 years old. By the time you're 65, you have $1 million. If the market's crap, if the market's normal, you'll have 4.6 million. So anyone can do this, right? Now, we talked about your net capital, net worth. We talked about what your goal is, when you want to invest, how you want to get to that end number. We told you how to do it now. So now you know how to get there. You know how much money you got to invest. You know the rates that you got to get. Okay, cool. Now, what's next? In our conversation, we said we're going to talk about free capital. This is the most important part of this conversation. If you've lasted this far, you're about to get the soup right now. This is everything right now. What is free capital? Okay, I'm going to give you the definition. If you guys are on my YouTube, follow me. Merriam-Webster is a good person. Definition of free capital. Capital that has numerous possible or actual uses as opposed to capital confined to a specialized use. Capital available for investment. That is the definition of free capital. Everyone on this call right now, understand me. The most important thing that you will have in your name is the ability to generate this. The ability to generate this is the most important thing that you should be focused on right now in 2021. How do you generate more free capital? Period. Remember, free capital is capital that is free to use for whatever purpose that is. So how do we define what that is? How do we figure out what we have if it's free capital time? Okay, cool. Remember in the beginning, we talked about your assets minus your liabilities and debt? Okay, cool. That kind of gave us an understanding of what you were worth. But to get free capital and to figure out what free capital is, you got to figure out what your cash flow is. Okay, these are terms. You hear my daughter going off in the background. Cash flow is the next part of this conversation that you have to understand. Now, how do you determine what your cash flow is? Very easy. Money that goes out, money that comes in. The difference. That's it. So whatever's going out, mortgage, rent, phone bill, light bill, gas bill, all these expenses, What's going out, total that number every month. What's coming in, total that number every month. Now, if what's coming in is higher than what's going out, you're going to have a positive cash flow. That positive cash flow is literally considered your free capital. So we have folks out here whose free capital is a negative. There are folks who spend more money than they have, and the only reason that they're not bankrupt is because they have a nest egg that they're dripping off of. And if you ask yourself, what's the difference between myself and a trust fund baby? A trust fund baby can spend all the money they want, and their actual cash flow is a negative. But because they have savings and they have a trust fund, they can continue to bring in money to compensate. And it never stops, right? So they're not actually financially sound. If you're a trust fund baby and you don't actually make more money than you spend, you are actually bankrupt. And the only thing saving you is the fact that someone else was wiser than you and put money aside to save your behind. That's it. Most of us don't have trust funds, right? So for the rest of us, we've got to be wise with our money. And it starts at any age. I want you to understand this. I don't care how old you are on this call. I don't care what you did in your life. Everyone at every age has to understand that money is to be respected. Money is to be earned and to be used wisely. It is not a game. And I know that in the beginning, you kind of want to buy things for yourself. I have this story where I bought a denim suit when I was in high school. And at the time, this was in the 90s, like 98, 99. I spent $700 on that. That was literally the equivalent of $1,400 today on a denim suit, right? My boys can attest to this. If any of them are listening, they'll tell you, I wore that thing twice, 2 times. That's it. That's all I got out of that investment. It was the thing I bought to the date, right? The stupidest thing I've ever spent my money on. So I'm not telling you that, we've all not made silly decisions on investings, but I didn't have access to this at that age. When I was in high school, no one was telling me about financial literacy. No one told me about time value of money. They didn't tell me that I could invest money in things. I wanted to be a president of a bank. I didn't know what the hell that meant. Like, I didn't know. But this is 2021. And guess what? Your kids can watch this Instagram live. They can watch our YouTube stream. They can follow along and look up these resources and actually do the things that we weren't able to do back in the late 90s. Like, I wasn't able to do this. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't care where you're starting. What brand? It was Pure Playas. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. And it was shiny. This is for Mortal Group. It was a shiny denim suit. It was like something that P. Diddy would have worn in his music video. I was flossing, man. I was flossing. I wore that once. I felt like I was a celebrity for that one night at that club, and $700 gone. So listen, we'll never make that mistake again. I'll tell you that right now. But again, the point is that today we have resources. We don't have to live that way. I can say that I was ignorant at the fact. I didn't understand what that was going to be. I could have, let's do something here. We're going to do this as a teaching subject. Let's go back to our calculator. And let's say that I took that $700. We're going to do this now. I'm going to be mad at this. I know I'm going to be mad at this, but bear with me here. $700. That was in 1998. 98, 100, 2008, 2018. That's 23 years. Okay. 23 years is our period. I'm going to be so pissed. Let's do this at 6% because I don't want to be too mad right now. We're going to see what the heck I could have had in my investment account if I just put that into a stock. $741. Okay. Future value today, it'd be worth $2,800, almost $3,000. I could use $3,000. You know what I mean? And that was on one piece of clothing. One piece of clothing. Okay. So again, that's a down payment on a nice car. That's a couple of solar panels you could buy for your property. You can pay off a credit card. Again, these are things, or if I use that as a basis for growing money going forward, let's say that I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. Okay. So let's say that I invested this for 60 years. What would it be? What would it be then? I just want to know. I just want to know. $24,000. So let's say that I retire, right? And I decided to just cash in my denim suit. That'd have been $24,000 by the time I'm 65. Annoyed. I'm very annoyed. It made me feel great, Kung Pao. It made me feel great. However, I'm glad that I've grown out of that phase now because I want to feel not only great, but I want to feel accomplished. Feeling great's temporary. Feeling accomplished is like a little bit more lasting for me. All right. So we talked about free cash flow. So we're right back to it. Okay. So free cash flow, again, free capital is capital that has numerous possibilities in actual use as opposed to confined to specialized use. Okay. So how do you find it? Whatever's going out, whatever's coming in, the difference between the two. Our job, literally, as anyone that is employed making money, your job is to maximize the amount of free capital that you can earn. Okay. So if you're making $2,000 every month, right? Your goal is to get your free capital to be the biggest number that you can get to. So if your expenses right now, if you do this math and you see that you're making $2,000 a month, your expenses are $1,500 a month, I want you to look at all the things you're spending money on and ask yourself, if I could increase my free capital by getting rid of some of these things, which would I want to get rid of? Which do I need versus what I want? I had to do this last year, and COVID kind of forced all of us to kind of take a look at these things. We had gym memberships. I had like 3 gym memberships on my name. I had Massage Envy. I had all kinds of stuff on my expense chart, right? Last year, I canceled all of them because I'm like, I want to increase my free capital because I don't know what's going to happen to us. I don't know what's going to happen. COVID's happening. I might not have a job. Like, who knows what's going on? Like, we've got to be more judicial with how we spend our money because, again, that's going to give us the most amount of savings that we can bank to save our families if anything else were to happen. Yes, baby. I had the gym membership for you and me. Yes. I was paying for yours too because I'm a good man, right? I invest in your health. Ask her how often she used it. She'd rather work out at home and go running. It's like, I got to use this more often. But again, I'll invest in health. However, I canceled the gym memberships, and that gave me an additional $120 a month just off of gym memberships, right? And I canceled Massage Envy, which gave me another $140 a month. So between those 2 things, I got an increase in my free capital of $260 a month just off of canceling 2 items on my cash flow negative statement, right? That is the position that I want all of you to think about being in 2021, because there are going to be opportunities for you to invest money into very, very profitable assets, whether that be stocks, land, whatever have you. But if you don't have the money to do it and you don't have the capital, the free capital to actually invest into these things, you're not setting yourself up for success. So look at your budget. And I say the word budget, I'm going to cancel it. Look at your cash flow statement. Look at what's going out, what's coming in. And ask yourself, is there a way for me to increase how much money I'm making? Is there a way for me to decrease how much money I'm spending? That is the most important 2 decisions that you can make in your financial future. Can I make more money? Can I spend less money? If I gave you $1 million right now and you didn't understand this logic, you would spend through that money without any sort of regard. Because again, you're not wise enough to understand that money is not just an asset, but also it has its energy. And if you were to inherit $1 million, you've inherited 1 million opportunities to do something. You're either going to utilize that money wisely or you're going to splurge it. Ask anyone who's seen someone win the lottery. That money gets spent out in 6 months. Or athletes who make very big sums of money and then over time they retire and they just splurge, and these things happen every single day. If they understood cash flow, time value of money, and the fact that they have to invest those funds so that they can continue to grow long term, I don't think any one of them would be broke, right? We've got to stop looking at money as an image and a symbol, and more so as an opportunity to do something for other people and for your family and yourself. Like, money has to change. The way we value it has to change. All right. And when it does, it's going to show up for us. So a book that I'm going to talk on now, and this is going to kind of tap into this piece of free capital. There's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. How many of you have read that? How many of you have read that book? And I'm going to summarize it quickly by going over 2 things that the book mentions that is literally the most important parts of the book, right? So let's go to google.com, Richest Man in Babylon summary. All right, James Clear, let's see. I'll read my summary. Your summary looks a little long, but this is the book. If you guys are following us on YouTube, I'm going to read my notes. So in The Richest Man in Babylon, it's basically a book that was written 70 years ago. It basically has a formula for how to become wealthy and maintain your wealth. There are stories in the book. There's a gentleman who was from a rich family, and then he got sold into slavery because he actually lost all of his money, decided to join a band of folks that were robbing people. Finally got caught by one of the chiefs who was sent to protect some of the people. The caravans are being robbed. There was a native chief that decided to protect one of these caravans. He robbed the wrong caravan. They arrested him, sold him into slavery. He was a slave, right? But he was a free person that was sold into slavery because of his actions and what he did. The reason that he had left his town in the first place was because he owed a lot of people money. And one of the daughters of his slave master basically was asking him, well, are you a slave or are you a free man? If you were a free man, he's like, I'm a free man, but I've just happened to be in a bad situation. Well, she was like, okay, if you were a free man, why wouldn't you pay off your debts? Debts are something that free men want to fight towards paying because it's part of their character and it makes them into better respected men. And as a free man, you should want to be respected. So if you are a free man, you should go back and cover all of your old debts and earn your status in your community. Have people respect you. He was like, dang it, you're right. Cool. Fast forward the story now. So she's going to go see her dying grandmother or whatever. She packs 2 camels. She packs all this stuff. And she's like, okay, you said you're a free man, right? Okay, cool. Take this camel. I'm going to tell my father that you ran away from me. You took the camel and all the foods, and I didn't know what happened. I was visiting my mom, and you ran away. Go and handle your business if you're a free man. Prove it. He's like, bet. He took off. Went through the desert. He knew kind of where Babylon was, but he didn't know exactly where it was, but it was north. So he was like, okay, I'm just going to go north. This dude was in a desert, literally about to die. He was kind of just like going through it. And then he said to himself, he's like, if in fact I'm a free man, and my freedom is literally just in Babylon, I just need to get there. He's like, I can't die. I'm not going to allow myself to die because that's not the life I want right now. I need to make it to Babylon. I need to make things right. And he convicted himself to basically improving his name, his legacy, all these things. So happened that he caught on to another caravan. He caught on to a couple other, positive things, his camels. They all made the trip eventually. They got back to Babylon. The first thing he did was he went to each one of the people that he owed money to, and he asked them for not just forgiveness, but give them time to pay back his debts. He started working. He started actually investing his money the way that I'm going to explain to you in this book. And literally through this, he became a wealthy person in Babylon and was able to share this wisdom with folks that were congregated in a forum about how to become wealthy. So this is a story of a person that was free, lost their money, started robbing folks, got arrested basically, sold into slavery, got escaped from slavery, came back to the beginning, had to find his freedom by becoming reputable and honest, paying off all of his debts in a strategic way, saving money in a strategic way, and then turning out to being one of the wealthiest men in a city. This is a story, right? But where does the truth lie from story to fact and fiction, right? Wisdom sometimes is best told in a story, for me at least. I like telling stories. So this book talks about 7 cures for a lean purse. We're gonna go right into the details of this. So that you can, all of you, I suggest you guys either Audible get this book and read it by listening to it, or buy the book and read it. I actually bought this book for some youth upstate New York, 3 of them actually, and I gave it to them as just like a, hey, we talked about wealth. Read this book. Let's have a conversation about it. Because again, getting the youth this book in advance. If you have kids on this call, I would suggest that you buy a book like this and give it to your kids. Let them read it. It's a big font book. It's easy to read, but the value in the book, it teaches them that wealth isn't the actual money. It's the knowledge of how to use it, right? Like, and think of that in this example. Like if I gave you a Ferrari and it's stick shift and it's a $500,000 car, but you don't have a license or you can't drive, what value is that car to you? That's how we have to look at money. It's literally a Ferrari, but if we don't teach them how to drive stick, if we don't teach them how to do the paddle shifting, if we don't teach about acceleration and turns and how to like lean left and right on the lines, like if I don't teach you how to drive that thing, it's not worth anything to you. Money's worth nothing to people who don't know how to save it, value it, invest it. It is literally nothing to them. And that's why they lose it. All right. So we have to teach the wisdom that comes with money, the wisdom that comes with life. That is more important to our people than the actual things we're talking about. If I teach you to value and respect money, you'll have a lot of it. If I teach you to disrespect money and not value it, you'll have little of it. And hopefully the trust fund is funding your nonsense. Which life do you want to live, right? Boom. So 7 cures to a lean purse. Let's get into it, right? Cure number 1. For every 10 coins, take out only 9. What does that mean? It's saying that if I make $100 in my cash flow statement, my cash flow should only have going out of my pocket $90 of that 100 should leave my pocket. $10 should always remain in my pocket, no matter what. Anytime money comes in, that is called paying yourself first. That habit, and I found this when I was an advisor, people that learn to save first were actually wealthier per person, like average, than folks who didn't do that. Like a lot of the biggest accounts that I had were from people who literally learned to save and just happened to fall into investments. They were the rich ones. The ones that were broke are the ones who were constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses and the Kardashians. and weren't really trying to save a penny. I met a doctor in Lockport, okay? He made 1.6, I'm putting out his business, but he made $1.6 million every year. He spent $1.8 million every year. Made 1.6, spent 1.8. He had a negative cash flow of $200,000, and he was almost going to bankrupt his actual business. What the hell is wrong with this guy? Like, you're that dumb that you can make 1.6 mil and then think it was logical to spend 1.8? Like, and think about it. The average income in New York is $56,000 household. Imagine if you had a negative account of 200 grand. Like, you're in the minus $150,000. Like, it doesn't make sense. But this guy, this is how he was living. And he didn't notice this until we put together his cash flow. I did that. I was like, listen, give me all your expenses. Let's write it down. Just label them out. Give me your bank statement. Let me just see that. Wrote them all out. Excel spreadsheet. Boom, boom. Send it to him. He was like, damn. I'm like, yeah, you're hemorrhaging. I don't care how much money you make. It's what you actually are doing with it. And after that conversation, he didn't actually do business with me. You know what he did? And I'm gonna out him because he was scummy. I put together this financial plan for him, right? It wasn't considered a financial plan, but it was more like a portfolio review of sorts because I wasn't a planner at the time. So I did this portfolio review. I sent it to him. Told him exactly what he has to cut out of his diet, cut out of his income, where he has to start spending more, Sends to him. He said, okay, I'll come see me in 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? What the hell are you gonna take 6 months to do? I'm like, okay, cool. I called him back in 6 months. He says, yeah, I got a financial planner and they actually used your plan and they said it was pretty cool, but this guy was more local. So I figured I'd go with him. I forgot to tell you. I was like, what? you used my work for someone else to make, okay. I'm like, you're welcome. I'm glad that you have any referrals. Anyone you want to refer me to? No? Okay, cool. Have a nice day. I'm glad that you worked it out. This person was not black. You probably knew that, right? Yeah. And Lockport's a very racist place. So clearly, no matter how much wisdom you kind of preach to somebody and whatever path you're giving them, sometimes it's not enough because you may not be their flavor, all right? Happens. My daughter's going off right now, but that's okay. Anyway, so let me wrap this up real quick. I'm happy that I had you guys in the room and we are going through. Anati, what's up? Oh, we got some folks. Sweet Crystal, what's up? I want to go and see what what am I missing in the comments? Oh, made me feel okay. Prices, classic denim suit. Oh, I missed the avocado reference. Oh, dang, that was a good one. Sweet Chrissy, what's up? Just started it. Okay, runs to Amazon. Yes, listen, run to Amazon, get that book. Not going to be disappointed. Clean cut, what's up? Okay. Knowledge over. Yep. Okay, cool. We good. We here. All right. So 7 cures. First cure. For every 9 coins that leave your pocket, 1 remains. For every 10 coins leave your pocket. So every 10 coins you earn, 9 can leave your pocket, but 1 must remain, which is a simple biblical reference that you guys all have from church, which is like 10% goes to tithe. Okay, cool. That concept, same thing. You need to take 10% of whatever you make and pay yourself first. That is the beginning habit and character that you have to form to be a wealthy person. And I know it doesn't, always seem like it, and it's hard to pay yourself first, but you're quick to pay your cable bill during the playoffs. You're quick to pay your cell phone bill when they tell you you're cut off and you can't call nobody. You're quick to pay your mortgage because you don't want to get foreclosed on, right? You're quick to pay everybody. But if I said to pay yourself first, why aren't you quick to do that? Pay yourself. If you pay yourself 10% of every time you make money, I am promising you, you will never be poor a day in your life. And this starts at any age. You can be 10, you can be 3 years old, you can be 21. If you take 10% of what you make and pay yourself first and choose to never spend that on anything, that's on you. That is your money. Your gold will multiply, right? That's as simple as it is. If you leave with nothing today, that one concept will make you not poor. And again, it increases your free capital because what we're saying is you now have 10% of free capital every time you get paid. The goal in life is to create free capital. Boom. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, control your expenses to ensure that your money can grow. We talked about this with the doctor, right? 1.8 mil spending, 1.6 million revenue. It's dumb. So again, look at your expenses, look at the things that you're spending money on and ask yourself, is this something that I need? Is it something that's going to provide me with a value? If it is, I keep it. If it's not, it's just a want. Free capital is more important than that. I prefer to have free capital over a want any day in my life. Why? Because I can turn free capital into future wants. I can turn free capital into millions. But what I can't turn into millions is my gym membership. I can't turn that into $1 million. It's not free capital. It is assigned to something, which is my health. But I can work out outside. I can go to Tyson trainer and get trained. Like, I don't need a gym. I just need someone with the wisdom of how to train. Life is about who has the knowledge, not about where you got it, where people are, congregating. Who has the wisdom in the area that you're choosing? Can you get it from them? Boom. I got 6 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna wrap through this real fast, and then we'll go through it. Okay, so 1, divert your coins. For every 10 coins you make, only take out 9, so save 10%. 2, control your expenses. Simply put. 3, make your gold multiply. Put it to work. Income that continues to flow in are what men should desire to make. Many sources of gold coming in. So essentially, investing your money that you have then been saving aside is critical. Right? So it's basically saying that for every coin that you make and money that comes in, try to find actual people with the expertise in the areas that you want to invest in and invest with them. You don't always have to know how the money is going to be earned. You just have to partner with someone else. So for example, if I'm saying that I want to do a startup company in cannabis, right? And I don't know anybody that's in the cannabis market. But then some guy that's a tire manufacturer wants to come and say, hey, join my club. We're going to go a cannabis business and we're just going to start up, with your money and let's do this. You're a tire shop, bro. I need someone in the cannabis space. So I might have to find someone like, anybody that's actually in the cannabis space to start up a business for cannabis, right? When you're looking to invest your money, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. But if you find the smartest guy in the area that you're trying to invest in, and invest with them, you're now attaching yourself to someone who has wisdom in that area, which is exactly what the book talks on. Don't ever invest your money with someone that doesn't have the expertise, the area that you're investing in. So in the example of the story, this guy, he was I think he was a metal worker of some kind, and he wanted to invest in, I think it was some type of jewelry exchange. So he was I think he was a herdsman, and he wanted to invest in a jewelry exchange situation. The guy got bamboozled. The money that he brought, he got fake jewels. He came back, he couldn't sell them, and his whole investment was gone. Like, he's like, damn it, that's what I get for investing, in jewels with the guy that didn't have that experience. But the moral was, invest with people that have the experience. Number 4, guard your treasure from loss. Security of your principal is the most important thing. So again, like we were talking about, whenever you have money set aside, do not allow people to take your money when they don't have the character to actually pay you back. So one of the things in the lessons in the book was, if I'm going to loan you my money, I have to know that you're going to be able to get it back to me, and you're going to have something that you can give me as collateral just in case. The book talks about folks giving them diamond rings and all this kind of stuff, or reputable businessmen that just need they have a really good business plan, but they just need money up front and they can pay you back later. Like, having reputation and having the ability to know that you can earn something is a good thing. One of the lessons that he said was that you shouldn't give money to someone who's trying something new for the first time, especially if there's no background, no history on it. Like, that's the type of startup that you should be investing in. But more so, it's one where you have a professional that's going into a certain area that just needs a little bit of start capital to get there, but they have the expertise. He said that's good. All right, so that's 4. Guard your treasure from loss. 5, make your dwelling a profitable investment. So for folks who are renting right now, this means buy a damn house, buy a condo, buy whatever it is that you're living in, because at some point that property will be worth more. The house that I live in right now, this house right here, this house bought this in 2017, right? The price has gone up by 35% since then. Okay, that's a lot of money. This is a New York City house. It's not cheap. So to me, my asset is now appreciating, and yeah, I'm paying a mortgage, but guess what? My asset's actually growing. If I decide to sell this in 10 years, it's probably going to be double what I paid for it. So they want your living space to be, again, an investment. So because at some point in time, you no longer have to pay for your mortgage. When that time comes, all of that becomes free capital. Now, here's the beauty. If you live in a place right now where you can actually buy a house that could have a rental piece with it, right? That would be a great idea, because again, a lot of folks are going to be losing their properties. Like this COVID thing hit everybody. There's going to be a lot of renters out there. So if you can find a way to buy a property that has the capacity to have rental income coming in, you're now creating more free capital because again, you're still going to pay your mortgage. You have to pay it anyway. But if now you're getting an extra 50 or 75% of what the mortgage is because you're getting rents in, you've now just increased your free capital by that same amount of money coming in because now you're increasing cash flow coming into your property, right? Make your property into an investment. Very simple, right? Number 6, ensure a future income in your old age, which means invest in things that have dividends, invest in things that have the ability to spin off income, whether it's rental property, whether it's stocks with dividends, whatever it is, invest it in a way that's going to ensure that when your kids come around, they're going to get access to that too. This is where the trust fund babies are at, right? They have access to this. And then the last one is increase your ability to earn, which is you have to continue to study and be a student. I talk about this all the time. I am a student. The man that you met back in 2018, I'm not that guy anymore. I've grown and I've learned and I've become more. Learn and try new things and learn new skills, because if you do that, you're going to be better. You're going to be able to earn more things. There was a lady today. This is back in, I think she's been doing this for 20 years. She has a skincare company. Back then, there was no Facebook, no Instagram, none of that stuff. She couldn't promote any of that. She started a face care company 21 years ago. This was in 2000. And she literally went back to school. She had a Stanford degree. Homegirl went back to school to learn HTML coding, to set up her own website, to sell her products on her own website. That was a skill she didn't have at Stanford. Yet she went back and was educating herself to find ways to now become more profitable. Hey, baby girl, to become more profitable. That's what we have to do. Like, don't ever stop learning things that can profit you in the future. So if you have a career right now and you think that that's the end all be all, I'm letting you know right now that you should still learn a new skill, no matter what it is. Right now, you can learn things in data, you can learn things in tech, you can learn things in HTML code, you can learn whatever, but learn something that can provide you value long-term. Little mama, I'm almost done. You got like 3 minutes. Look at her looking at me. So anyway, y'all, the last thing I need to tell y'all is this. Money is energy. And I'm going to spend more time on this on Clubhouse. So you guys are going to meet me over there in Clubhouse and talk about money is energy. But money is literal energy. And I need you all to understand this. If you get money and you spend it in a nefarious way, it's going to come back to you. If you spend it in a righteous way, it's going to come back to you. Whatever you do with money, it's going to reverberate back to you because you're creating a vibration with that money. So I don't ever loan out my money to people. I either give it to you or I don't give it to you. Like, and I have not given certain bums money because I'm like, yo, the energy that I have for this money right now isn't going to help you because I don't like what you're doing right now. So I'm just going to give you a sandwich. You know, like I'm not giving you currency if I don't think that you're going to do right by it, right? You might just go get drugs and I don't want to feed that, right? So I'm letting you know right now, money is energy. Respect it. Use it in that way. And if money is coming into you from a negative aspect of something or someone, it is your job to clean the energy of that money and turn it into something good. You know, I tell my sister sometimes that like she gets money from certain places and I'm like, yo, just turn it to good because you can't always control where it comes from, but you control how you use it and what it's going to do going forward. So folks, that's all the time we got. If you're on Clubhouse, meet me out there. And thank you so much again for joining us. This was Wealth Wednesday. This was our introduction to financial literacy. Hopefully you were found value in it. Share it with your kids, share it with your family, and be with us on Clubhouse at 9:30, or just join us next week, Wednesday. And we're going to have part 2 of financial literacy because this conversation is not over. We've got to continue to make this normalized. We've got to continue to do this. This is how we get better as people. This is how we get better as individuals. And collectively, if we get this right, they can't stop us. We got to be right. They can't stop us if we're right. So my job is to get you there. Your job is to maintain it and share this knowledge with other people. Peace, love, and we'll see you guys next week. All right. Take care, y'all. Adios. All right, YouTube. Well, thank you for being with us. I appreciate you guys. You know, this, and I'm missing the chat in here. I think I'm missing the chat in here. I don't know if I've been looking at this chat. Okay. But anyway, thank you all for coming through. You know, this is Wealth Wednesday. This is what we do every Wednesday. Just join us. We have some videos from the past that we've been doing. We've been doing this for almost a year now. Go through, review our videos. Like, this is something that we're doing just for the people, just for you guys. It's to improve your position, right? So take stock into all of these things that we mentioned tonight. Utilize these things for yourself. Review the video, share it with somebody. And remember, this is about strategy. We have to make sure that we're giving each other the right strategy for all things. All right. Be safe, be blessed, and I'll see you guys next week. All right. Take care.